Hey guys, it's Caitlin, and today I'm going to be doing a full art journal flip through. This is the second art journal that I've filled. It's a mini Moleskine art edition, and it says sketchbook on it when you buy it. This journal has never done me dirty, so I highly recommend. I am sitting in front of a window so you guys can hear the birds chirping and the leaves blowing in the wind. So if you hear cars, excuse that. I'm going to try to talk loud enough so the cars aren't a big disturbance, but we're just going to use the natural sounds of the neighborhood. So in the beginning of my art journal, I was doing 100 days of art journaling, and my art just sort of really suffered. It was really not the best spreads or anything, so I stopped doing that because I just didn't really like the way things were turning out, and I was burning out really easily. But this was inspired by a picture I found on Tumblr, and this quote is just a pretty generic quote, and I sort of liked how this turned out, but also sort of didn't. I like this side more than this side. Not the biggest fan. For this one, like I said in the beginning, I'm not the biggest fan because I was doing 100 days of art journaling. I thought of this concept and it was prettier in my head than it was on paper. I wish it turned out differently, but you know, it's about working with things and trying to get better at it. This is when I had not a lot of experience with watercolors, so I used watercolors and watercolor pencils for the leaves. I wrote this quote in my notes a long time ago and just used it at the beginning of this art journal. I got these pictures from Tumblr and cut them all to the same size and sort of matched them with the part of the quote that they're about. Yeah, I think that this one's pretty cute. This is one of my favorite spreads that I've ever made. This is after I stopped the 100 days of art journaling, I'm pretty sure, or just like right before I stopped doing the 100 days. It's literally my favorite quote. It says, "Become intimate with your fears. Listen to them, sit cross-legged, give them your undivided attention, offer them comfort, and offer them rest." And I could have done better on the girl that I drew. I'm not the best at drawing people, so I'm still trying to get better, but you can sort of see a little bit of evolution throughout this. And the background, I just love doing that kind of background, and I love the contrast between the red and the black. This is my favorite spread, and I'm pretty sure it's my followers' favorite spread. My art journal account is Caitlyn_journals. If you didn't know, I've seen illustrations of greenhouses, like glass greenhouses, everywhere, and I sort of just created my own concept for that. And this was based off of the quote, and I sort of had the plants growing out of the greenhouses just to symbolize never let a person stop you from growing, as in like the greenhouse is somebody limiting your growth space. People seem to really like this quote, and I do too a lot, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. For this spread, it's a little more personal. It's Instagram versus reality, and sort of the negative comments that you say to yourself versus what people say to you that are actually true. So this is Caitlyn Journals. I just did journals because I posted on my journal account, but it would actually be my main Instagram, and then Caitlyn's Mind. And this is really sloppy, but I still like the concept of it. This was during finals, and I was so done with it, and I just wanted to leave, and this is what that was about. I love this spread. It was so easy to make, and it was so much fun. Apparently, this is a quote from a 21 Pilots song, I think. Maybe not. Okay, I forgot whose quote this is from what song, but I saw it on an illustration online and used it. So, didn't realize it was from a song at all. But fans were quick to tell me that it was. The background is Tombow dual tip markers, and this is too. And then this is sort of a sun, and then I thought the background was a good color combination. This is a picture I took like 3 years ago that I cut up and just pasted on here because I just had this picture floating around and I had nothing to do with it. And then this is just a really super cute quote. I drew this in the spring, and I was really unmotivated and really stressed from finals, sitting out in a field when I drew this. These actually blew away in the wind. It was really funny, but yeah, that's where that came from. This is an old picture from 1935, and I got it at a vintage store and used it to make this spread. The whole spread was inspired by that. I tried to find a quote that fit that, and I wrote here what's written on the back of this picture, and I had to like research to translate where this was because I couldn't read the handwriting very well. So I tried so many different combinations of Spitzenberg, and I thought maybe it was in a different country, but it's actually in New York, I'm pretty sure. I drew this one on a 9-hour car ride, and that's why it's a little sloppy, but I still like it. I think it's really simple and really cute. This spread I sort of liked, but then I messed up the center part and I tried to fix it, and now it's just really thick, and now I'm not the biggest fan of it. But I do like the quote, "We can only learn to love by loving." I think that is one of the most true things I've ever heard. And I tried to go with a blue and red type of contrast, but I'm not sure how that turned out. I do like the hair on this one though. This is the last journal spread I did before I took like a year off of journaling. So from here to the next spread, there's almost an entire year break. I want to run, but where could I go? I guess I ran away from my art journal, honestly. I just had travel fever. This was at the beginning of summer, last summer, and I was really just lusting to travel. And I ended up going to California that summer, and it was an amazing trip. So this is this year's. I've had this picture from a magazine, probably like a Teen Vogue magazine, honestly, since like probably 6 years ago. I've had this picture, and I had it hanging up in my room because I thought this girl was like the prettiest girl I had ever seen, and the pose was cute and the outfit was cute. And I didn't know what to do with this picture because I didn't want to throw it away, so I made it into an art journal, and I used a Billie Eilish quote because I'm in love with Billie Eilish, and then used some white gel pen to make the stars. And I sort of made this rough textured edge. I really like how that turned out. I was really debating on what to do. This can be hard to look at, but I really honestly like it a lot. And I think I did a good job on the hands. And then I really wish I didn't write "Chivalry is Dead." I was sort of in a mood that day. So that's where that quote came from. And then there's red dots on each fingertip because I thought that that looked really cool. This was a sketch that I started, and I was going to make it into like a watercolor painting or just make an ink sketch, but I never finished it. I think that's the only unfinished page in here, honestly. This was inspired by somebody else's journal, the background was, and then I found a quote from Pinterest, and Pinterest has really inspired me lately. I've been utilizing it to the best of my ability for quotes and such. I loved this quote and this idea and the colors and stuff, but I just hate the face that I drew. I wish I drew it on something else and pasted it in so I could have edited it. But she's okay, whatever. I should have done the eyes closed because I'm not the best at the eyes, and that always gets me. But she is a force to be reckoned with, apparently. This was in my brain dump notebook, and I transferred it to mini size in my art journal. So this just came to my head one day, and I was thinking about mindfulness, and I wrote, "Mindfulness reminder, put yourself back into your body," because that's sort of the key to mindfulness, is being in your body and just realizing your surroundings and how you feel. And mindfulness is just really important. I really like this spread. I have an art journal video for this, like an art journal with me. This is some of my favorite songs from my Chill the Fuck Out Girly playlist on Spotify. I'll link that down below for you guys if you want to listen to it. I listened to it when I was making this art journal as well, so it's just a really, really dope playlist. I really like it. This is a crumbled up piece of paper that's like a list, and then I just drew that cassette tape really sloppily. This is the same girl that this was. This was the first one I did, and I tried to redraw it here and forgot to do the eyes closed. But I liked this one a lot better. And this quote was on the same page, but I cut it all out from my brain dump notebook. She looked better before I inked her in, but you couldn't really see her, so I had to. But it says, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm." And I think that is so true, and it really resonated with me. And the background is grid paper from another one of my Moleskine notebooks. I love this spread, but I don't like the execution as much. I really want to redo it because I think that it could be really awesome. But it says, "If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it." And these are some really basic mountains, and then these are colored pencils, and I just love how that turned out. The color is so rich. I like this spread a lot. It's sort of like a space theme, and it says, "Ever feel like a black hole?" And then I drew this little girl in the corner, and I colored it in after because I didn't really want it to just be a blank page, and black hole sort of resonates with space, so that's how I decided to fill it in with black. I just wanted to make a journal this day and really just did it quick and needed to get rid of some stickers. I think the quote is funny. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do personify my plants. Got a problem with that. I don't like this spread, but it was fun to think about and sort of fun to make. I didn't really like it from the beginning. This is a quote from Plantiful Souls Instagram, and it says, "Plot twist, your dreams are chasing you, but you keep running away from them." And this really resonated with me. This sort of told me, like, I want to travel so bad, and I just was never getting out and doing it. So I bought a plane ticket like a couple weeks after this to visit my friend in Missouri, and it was so much fun. And I think everyone can learn a lesson from a quote like this. You're not going to get what you really, really want in life if you don't put it out there that you want it and go after that. Oh, I forgot about this spread being my favorite now, but this is my new favorite spread, and I think it's your guys' new favorite spread too. This background I actually didn't make. People thought I made this background, but it's actually from a notebook therapy, like sort of construction-y paper notebook. I cut out that paper and put it in the background, and then I drew the stars on top of it with white ink. And then I painted this with watercolor and used the white ink on this as well. And it's sort of a galaxy within a moon. Some people thought it was a pizza, some people thought it was a pancake, but no, it's a moon. So it says, "Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground." And this quote actually didn't have any credit to it, but I think it was actually Theodore Roosevelt who said this, and I had no clue when I made this, so I didn't put a credit thing on it, but apparently it's from Theodore Roosevelt. I looked it up. So I drew this girl a really long time ago, like probably 2 years ago, and finally just watercolored her in. And it says, "The trick is that as long as you know who you are and what makes you happy, it doesn't matter how others see you." And this is another quote from Pinterest, without credit again. Up close I really like her and the details in the hands and the elbows and the shirt, but I could have done better on the hair. I really don't know how to watercolor hair yet, and I really honestly didn't want to spend the time on it that day. So this was also inspired by my brain dump notebook. I had this piece of paper and this piece of paper in the corner cut out, and they were just pencil, and I inked them in and colored it in with a Faber-Castell bold marker. And to complete that, I did more on this paper after I glued these on and wrote "Sweet Like Honey." I sort of wish I didn't write "Sweet Like Honey" because I didn't really end up liking how that turned out, but I do like the bees and the honeycombs that are sort of 3D. I think that's really cool. This I made in like 30 minutes on a day that I really just wanted to get some summer vibes and just needed to do something before I left the house. So this is how I consumed my time that day. And these are pictures printed from Tumblr like 2 years ago. And it says "Summer, sunshine, and good times." I should have written "good vibes," honestly. But I sort of like how this turned out, even though it took really quick. So the process with this one was I drew this girl on Procreate on my phone. And that was the first time I had used Procreate to draw a person, or like the second time. And I really liked how she turned out. So I had to transfer it to a different sheet of paper. But then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for this spread. So I just copied that again, reversed, and cut them out in circles and colored it in red in the background. And then this quote just came to my head. I don't know if it's a real quote, but I just thought that she was facing herself. So I could say, "And all of a sudden I was at war with my own mind." And I was thinking about connecting their heads somehow with like some wavy things, but I just liked how simple this was, so I left it. This actually isn't on my Instagram because I drew it at like 3 a.m. one day. I think it's cute. It's a cute concept. I just don't want it on my art journal Instagram, so this is where it's staying. Next is this. It reminds me a lot of this one. This is another girl that I drew on Procreate and transferred, and I just did not like the style of it. It doesn't feel like my style, and I was having a mid-journal crisis. At least I got the eyes pretty accurate. One of them's too big, but, you know, I suck at drawing eyes, so I'm happy about the eyes at least. So this was basically coming from the fact that I was just sort of fed up with not being able to draw people and just the spread in general. This I really like. I was watercoloring just for fun and sort of put these cacti in a jar. This was inspired by the tapestry I have in my room. And my favorite thing is watercolor paint swatches. So I kept that page in here too because I just love them so much. I have a better white ink pen now, and I sort of wish I had it when I did this, but, and I sort of wish I added some more dimension to the jar, but you live and you learn. This is what a thought it is that some of the best days of our lives haven't happened yet. I had a typo in this, but I still really like this spread, and a lot of people liked it too. Nobody really minds the typos if you call yourself out. This was the first one I did for this, and I didn't like how it turned out. I did like the cute little vintage picture, but I just didn't like how this one turned out at all, so I went back and did it like this. We're getting to the end of the notebook. This page sticks together. This is another one of my favorites. It says, "Be patient with yourself. Nothing in nature blooms all year." And I got this idea from Pinterest, definitely. It was this quote on a picture like this. So when I saw this picture, I immediately thought of the one on Pinterest. And then this girl was also drawn while using a girl on Pinterest for reference. And I just think that she turned out really pretty. It's really simple. I could have done more with her, but I didn't want to mess it up, so I just kept it like that. Chill out, life is good. Some people read this, chill life out is good, and I just thought that was really funny. I just really like the colors for this. It's my new Faber-Castell bold colored markers, and I really liked how this turned out. The colors just really went well together, and I probably would have taken out the green if I redid it, but I liked how it turned out either way. And the way to do this is you basically write the block letters and then pick a focal point and have all the lines meet at the focal point. It gets a little muddled down here, but you gotta try your best. And then this is the last page. I was listening to the song Peaches by In the Valley Below, and that is one of my all-time favorite I Could Die songs. Like, that song just is my life. And so I wrote Peaches and tried to make a bubble text. I tried my best. I can do that on Procreate, but I can't do that in real life. And that is the end of the art journal. Here's the test page that I always have in the back, and the little envelope that I don't think has anything in it. So thank you guys so much for watching. My art journal Instagram is Kaitlyn_journals if you want to see more updates on my newest art journal, which will be my third one. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys next week in another video. Peace out, guys.